Okay, we're calling to order this April 14th Housing Authority Board meeting. This meeting is being recorded. As far as roll call, I'm chairing tonight, Patricia McKay. Catherine Kelleher is excused this evening. Michelle Frazier?
Here.
Teresa Linsky?
Here.
Okay. Board review and vote on the minutes of the regular board meeting that we had on March 10th, 2025. Everybody looked over the board meeting minutes from the last meeting?
Yes. I'll make a motion that we accept the meetings from the last March meeting. Second.
Okay. All right, number 4, we're going to look at financial reports A, B, and C, and that would be March 2025 vouchers, February 2025 bank balances, and February 2025 financial statements. Anybody have questions on any of those?
So it doesn't show on the financial well, actually the bank statement, all of our banking together is still showing $894,000 in money that's in this, for the state. We had to move $535,000 of that because that's actually Harvard Court money. So anyway, Terry signed the check, I signed the check. We were not able to do it.
By wire.
By wire. The check was too high, so we had to send it, mail it to them, to MMDT, which they have higher rates. They work for municipalities and for the state. So we tend to do better with our money sitting there.
State Street Bank, but the operation's out of Kansas City, Missouri.
MM&T?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
MMDT is affiliated with State Street?
Yes.
It is, I didn't realize
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Anybody have any other questions on the financials, A, B, and C?
I make a motion we accept the bank statements from March, A, B, and C. I'll second the motion. We accept the bank statements from March, A, B, and C.
Thank you. Okay, number 5, board vote to accept amendment number 12 to the contract for financial assistance, CFA 5001, in the amount of $687,451.52. This amount includes FY27 and FY28 formula funding and other funds to address code compliance, ADA accommodations, and a HILAP reward. The director shall record all board members' votes and shall send a certified copy of the extract to the Capital Finance Department at EOHLC. Executive Director Eileen Gibson shall be the signatory on the document per a board vote on August 28th of 2025.
23.
23.
Oh, 23.
Yeah,
Okay, I
that
thought
was-
it was a typo. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
You guys voted on that because they were sending it out to Kathy. Kathy wasn't seeing it because she wasn't, she doesn't check her emails all the time. So it sat there, and then I don't know. The state started writing us up if we didn't get it done in time.
Oh, okay.
They were finding that problem all through the state, so they said to get a board vote. If the board votes, that you can do that based on their vote. To accept the money. I don't see why there would be any reason why the board would say no to funding.
Right. Right.
That's why I don't understand why we're doing it, but it's what we have to do. So, anyway, back at the board meeting in 2023, all of you had voted that I'd be the signatory after getting approval by the board. So,
Okay.
so we'll need a first and a second, and see where we go.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept amendment number 12?
I make a motion that we accept amendment number 12 to the contract for financial assistance. I'll second the motion.
Okay. Board members shall provide Chairwoman Catherine Kelleher, Chairwoman Kelleher, the performance evaluation of the Executive Director. The May 2025 Board agenda shall include a renewal or non-renewal of the Executive Director's contract that is expiring on June 30th, 2025. And we have all of the performance evaluations with the exceptions of Ms. Kelleher's, but she'll be bringing that to the office. And of course, they are glowing reports. There's a particular statement here I'd like to share from one of the board members, and says that Eileen exceeds executive director by turning dollars into gold. So it's pretty wonderful right there. She's very dedicated and is an asset in her position. Whitman is fortunate to have her working for the betterment of the Housing Authority. And we thank you, Eileen.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So those are all good. We just need Ms. Kelleher's. These are all set.
Does everybody have to sign the number 12?
The contract for financial,
Yeah, the
no,
contract.
I just needed to get a personal vote from all of you. So actually, Patty, I do need you to vote, because they want that.
Oh,
I have to
okay.
send them the minutes, I'm gonna do that
Okay,
tonight.
so
before I-
going back to number 5 on the board vote to accept the amendment number 12, it was already firsted and second, and
Yes.
I will also vote yes. So we have a vote of 3, unanimous. And I'm not sure we need a vote on the performance evaluation. It doesn't.
No, so I guess it's just to collect it, and then
Okay.
we'll discuss next month the contract, 'cause that's May, right? So then
Right.
we'll know for June, so then I can submit in June to EOHLC
Okay.
if it's approved by the board. And probably just on a note, I think I would ask for a 5-year. I can't guarantee that I'll be here for another 5 years, just because I don't know if I'll be brain dead by then.
Hopefully
I
not.
think 5 years is fair. I think you're young.
A young 62.
Yeah. The longer you hold out, the more Social Security you get, I guess. All right. We'll move on to number 7 then. Board vote to accept the labor and industry rates for the maintenance personnel. Do you know what page that is?
24.
Okay, good. I'm there. Okay.
So I forgot to put on there, so the supervisor is allowed to make $3 to $8 more an hour. So John had received that extra money, so that was not reflected on the supervisor.
Oh, good. I
But that
wondered
is
why it
allowed.
was so close to what everybody
It's
else
always
was.
been that, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, that was, and
I think this is more like entry level minimum wage rates.
yeah, so they used to not allow us to do anything. I think the supervisor could, if he was a working supervisor, could get up to $3 more an hour than what's listed here. And then they came up with up to 8. They went from like 3 to up to 8. So John definitely deserved it.
Oh, they all work so
He
hard.
still does, you know.
They all work so hard.
They do.
Okay. So do I have a vote to accept the labor and industry rates for maintenance personnel?
I'll make a motion. We accept the labor and industry rates for maintenance personnel. Second.
Okay. And number 8, board to approve a gross rent change for Harvard Court from $1,919 to $1,994, which is an increase of $75 per unit per month. No tenants will be affected by this change. The Housing Authority will receive an increase of $72,000 in subsidy per year.
So Mass Housing oversees the property here, and so they pretty much insist that we take it, even if we said no, we got plenty of money, we don't want it. They push us to take it, so we really don't
They
have a choice.
insist.
Right.
That's closer to the market rate.
Yeah. And, heat and hot water is included. So anyway, so that will take effect July 13th. It's a bit of a nightmare when it comes to the subsidy and half-month subsidy, and
And it's research time too, isn't it?
research. No, not at that time of the year, but it's a hard time of the year because people are on vacation, and what it causes is like hundreds of errors in the subsidy. And so then each one has to go in and, it's kind of a nightmare. Thank God Betty's still helping us with that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. So when Betty used to see it, she'd be like, we don't need it, do we? I'm like, no, but we have to. We have to take it.
I think it's great. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the gross rent change not affecting the tenants?
I'll make a motion that we accept the rent change for Harvard Court from $1,919 to $1,994. It's an increase of $75 per month, and the Housing Authority will receive an increase of $72,000 in subsidy per year, but no tenants will be affected. Second.
That's awesome. Okay, board to approve a proposal from Action Inc. to have all source heat pumps at Stetson Terrace replaced. The cost of the project is $620,000 and is funded in full under the Lean Energy Program with no cost absorbed by the Whitman Housing Authority. Wow.
Right, so the new ones that will be coming to Stetson Terrace will be more efficient for the size unit that it is. So there'll be one in the bedroom, one in the living room. It will not be the same. It won't be in the exact same spot. So what you're going to see is normally it's here. It's going to be here, and then there's going to be a white pipe. I'll show you what it looks like because I have it in my office too. That's the way they're doing them all over the place now.
Is it PVC?
Yeah,
Plastic?
it's PVC. Yep. So John said that they're going to have to then go in and repair the wall of where the old one was screwed in. So we were one of the very first housing authorities to get the SOS heat pumps. Stetson Terrace was the one that got them. They've come a long way since then. They're old enough now. They're about 10 years old. 10
I was
to
going to
12
say
years
7
old.
or 8, but yep.
So we know what issues that we had with them. We are unable to get parts to even fix them, some of them. So this is free, $620,000.
Can you believe it?
Yeah,
Wowza.
like $15,000 per unit.
Wow.
To do that, and we're getting it free. So
Is the piping ugly? That sounds like it would be.
no, and I think
I think they might put a cover over it.
there is. So you're not. I'll show you my office
Okay.
because you can see it
Just
in my
curious,
office.
yeah.
So I'm sure some tenants will be upset by that. I think it works better that way.
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, down south they used to use them much more often. Up here they didn't. You will find even in
New construction's using them.
yeah, but like our accountant, I think he has an oil burner, and then he got some of the SOS heat pumps. And when it's the coldest out, right? So when it's below 0, that's when they stop working.
Right. Go figure.
Yeah. So anyway,
I can never figure out that
Is
it
it
blows
because-
cold air.
well,
Like you've got the heat on,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden you're freezing because it's blasting cold air on
right.
you.
So we tend to now leave the office at 70. So when we would come in the morning, it was okay. If we turned it down to 65 and then came in, like you would sit there and all you could feel was it was cold air coming
Yeah.
at you because the room was cold, and so it was pushing that, and so you felt like you were getting colder.
Almost like a cold air intake feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you're sitting, like mine is right over my couch, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so-
I wear a hood or whatever because it's blowing
Yeah,
down
it's
your
blowing
neck.
on your head, down
but
your
the
neck.
bedroom is always hot.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
Hopefully these will work great.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you have to leave it at a certain temperature that you're comfortable
Right.
with, and then it just stays level. And so when you do that, you'll
Yeah,
find that it
it's
works
just
better, and it might even be cheaper to do it that way, to leave it on 70 all
Right,
the time,
right.
rather than to try to drop it down, and then
Right.
it takes a while to come up, because we would be freezing in the office until about 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
when the other girls were leaving.
Yeah, turning the thermostat up and down is just, it doesn't work.
No, especially not with these. So, anyway, so I'm very happy that
Do
we
the
got that.
units have 2 heaters right now or just one?
Two, one in the bedroom and one in the living room. Yep, so both will be replaced. I'm not sure about the outside. I don't know if the new fan, I don't know if they're going to be up higher. I don't know what the outside's going to look at. But we talked to him about this last year, Colin Hennigan, nice guy. And he remembered us. We reached back out to him this year, and he's like, yep, we sent something over. And then I found out, I think they're going to start this.
I was going to say, when does it
I
start?
think it might start next week,
Oh, good Lord.
Monday.
Oh my goodness, that's
So
great.
I'm off this week. So I told Carrie, I go, you gotta, we talked to whoever's gonna be in charge of it. And so Carrie's already reached out to him, I have, because I'm not gonna be here, because she's gonna have to start sending out the phone bites.
Right.
I'm not sure how many they're gonna be able to do. John said this week they're going to do the community building. I don't think we have any vacant units. I know they're going to do the community room and maybe set things up. They're going to set up all the materials and everything they need. There's going to be a storage unit there that's going to hold.
Oh, I saw all the
stuff.
cones there.
Yeah.
That's what that's for.
Yeah.
They do all the disposal and all that.
Yes, yeah, they do everything.
Great.
God, I gotta go home and clean.
Yes.
I know.
This sounds,
Reorganize or something.
this sounds wonderful. And I love it that it's covered under the Lean Energy Program. That is awesome.
So we actually, I'd like to add up everything that we have gotten free. I think it's significant. It's a significant amount. I don't know if I have it in here. I don't. But yeah, so in grants alone, now if you look at what we've been getting from HLC a year, we're getting about $150,000. It doesn't do anything when we have the amount of properties that we have. So with the Lean Energy and other grants, the High Labs and all the other ones that we got, we were $1.7 million in grants. So we did super well. Even though John and I are overworked and overwhelmed, we can't see $20 on the ground and step over it. We got to grab it. If it's there, we're going to get it. And so, we kind of curse ourselves afterwards for doing it.
Because it's so
a
much
lot
work.
of the time, because
Yeah.
it's so much work. But,
Right.
right. It's the right thing to do, and we certainly don't want the split heat pumps that we have to start failing.
Right, because
and
if you can't
not
get
even be
parts.
able to fix them.
If you can't get parts, you want to put people in hotels.
Right,
So
right.
it's
So
not,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, so
So
it's,
maybe when they do the shoveling now, they want to clear the exhaust and the fans outside the unit for the heat pumps?
yeah, so normally they're up higher. They're like on a,
Pedestal?
they're on a pedestal, so a lot of times the snow won't affect them, which is good. So I think some housing authorities, I even noticed even at church at St. Bridget's, this is on the ground. And I'm
Okay.
thinking, if there's snow,
Right.
that's not
Like a dry event. But if somebody's not home, I can see it freezing up.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure maintenance checks that. John's on the ball, for sure.
If there's snow, they're down there. But yeah, we haven't had. Well, now that we have a company, ARCAT actually has taken over the preventive maintenance on these devices, and they are doing so much more than anyone else ever did. So I think it takes them an hour and a half per unit to clean them out, to flush them, to do so much more than what DHCD had originally told us that, when you get these cleaned and you get them serviced, this is what we want. And they gave a list of about 4 or 5 things. Now this time they do a lot and they clean things out. So
Yeah,
that
you
we
gotta get
won't.
the mold out and stuff.
Right. So we won't. This will be done annually. If it's done annually, everything's flushed out. We shouldn't have any issues with, God forbid, mold or anything like that. So I'm happy with that we are, that the state has come up with something, because I did say that we had some issues. I sent some pictures, and they brought that up, and they said, listen, if this is what you want, if this is what the state wants, for everything to be electric and everything to be air source heat pumps, then this is the problems that we're going to find.
Yeah.
And so they increased the amount of money for the service, and they gave that for RCAT to procure for us. So we're all using a company that, they went out to bid, but that, they gave them the list. This is exactly what needs to be done. And so everybody voted on the same, so many steps, and the company we had did a great job. They did a really good job.
That's great.
And where the units would be 10 years advanced, they should be much more efficient.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially when it fits the unit that's there.
Yeah.
It should go by square footage.
Square footage.
What the power is
Yeah.
of the SOS heat pump.
The ones there now might be power horses.
Right.
They're just,
Right. Yeah. They're too, for an apartment as small as that, they're for a much larger room. So they can't be as efficient if they think they're, working.
they're always trying to change
Right.
from go off or run heat.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Will we know which day was our day? Our particular day?
let me take a look at the email.
I just might want to be home with my cat.
Right. Definitely.
I don't want to be there.
You can bring your cat out and put it in our office. We'll take care of it.
Or you could bring him to my house.
She might not be happy. Plus, I'll have to move furniture. But
No.
They'll move it out of the way. So
They will, okay.
we'll have someone with them the whole time they're in there. So we might have two guys. So someone will be in there, and our guys will kind of move the furniture out of the way and then move it back where it was. So I wouldn't worry about that.
You need a cat harness and a leash.
I don't know if she'd like that.
Is the cat ever? Can you ever put her in the bathroom? With
I
the
have,
bed?
yeah.
You have.
I have, yeah.
All right. So maybe that might be the best.
Which, if I'm there, I probably will put her in there.
Yeah,
But maybe I'll choose to be home that day. Just
Yeah.
okay.
that's a good idea.
All right.
Carrie will be the one that she'll be scheduling. So, like I said, I know they're starting with the community room, but after that, so I'll leave a note. I'll leave a sticky on
Okay.
Carrie's desk to check in with you.
All right. So do we have a motion to accept?
Oh, does, how many signatures does it require? Just yours, Eileen?
Yes.
Yep. So we need a board vote to approve the proposal for the heat pumps at Stetson Terrace. Project cost is $620,000 with $0 for the Whitman Housing Authority.
I'll make a motion that we accept the heat pumps for Stetson Terrace, 40 units, value $620,000 for free.
Second.
Okay. All right. Board vote to approve the changes to the tenant fees for the state properties. I think it's page 28. It looks like the only change is the laundry card replacement.
Yes. So the laundry card replacement is now $6. It used to be $5.
And can I hear a motion for that?
Make a motion, we accept the new tenant fees list.
Second.
Okay. And then on page 29, we have two changes for the Harvard Court tenant fees, and it looks like there's two changes. One is for the fobs, $25, and same on the laundry card replacement, $6. Those are the two changes.
So the project here is just about done. So all the fobs have been programmed, and they're working on all the, the elevators and the doors in the buildings. What else were they doing? They did cameras outside that I guess whenever this activity, the camera will move. And so I guess, I don't know how many's here. There's like maybe 2 or 3. But it'll see people driving into the property and driving off from the property. It'll see like if people are throwing stuff in our dumpster. which we're always full anyway.
Right.
So we don't need anybody else throwing stuff in.
Yeah, I see mattresses out there today.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that was someone that left or if that was someone that left them. You know what I mean? From somewhere else. Because it's so expensive. It's like
So there were exterior cameras now?
yes. Like I said, I think it's 2 or 3. I did have to reach out to the contractor because the contractor said that wasn't set up for monitoring. I'm like, why would I get cameras if it wasn't going to be monitored? So I reached out to the architect Friday before I left. I said, listen, they're telling me that wasn't part of the scope. You wrote the scope. Get back to me. Because that's what we paid you to do. So
At least have it go to a cloud, so if you need to refer to it, you know how to find it.
right, and I don't think it holds things for a significant amount of time.
Probably
So-
7 days or something.
Yeah. So it's not huge. But like I need to tell the tenants too. If you came out and you saw that your car windshield was smashed, it looks like a deliberate thing. You got to tell us right when you see it, and so that we can look at the time frame around that. Because don't tell us 3 weeks. Well, I haven't used my car in 3 weeks. I don't know. It could have been like that. It's
Right.
like we're not going to know. Nor are we going to have the time to go back and like watch every bit of footage because that will take away from our work too.
So the cameras, do they all face the parking lots or in the dumpsters?
It turns. They turn.
To motion,
I guess.
yeah.
Turns to
Yeah.
motion. That's good.
All right.
Okay,
Make a
so,
vote to approve the changes to the tenant fees for Harvard Court.
thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Now we're going to look at board review and vote of the amended credit card policy.
I'm trying to think what I changed when I said amended here. To be truthful, I don't think I amended it. I think I need to take out amended and just put just review.
Take out amended,
Yeah,
just review.
because I know I didn't amend it. So the state wants us to have it reviewed, so that's what we're doing. So a board review and vote on the credit card policy. So if you notice, the last time, it was board approved in 2015, last reviewed in 2021. So this will be board reviewed in 2025. So that's in our annual plan. It gives the name of the policy and it gives the last time that it was either reviewed or amended. So they want us to keep more up to date so that 4 years old is a little bit, I think they want it 3 years or less. So
Yeah, I can see on the bottom where it says that. So after this is voted on, it'll say board reviewed April 14th,
Yep.
2025.
Yep.
Let me look at it again in 2028. All right. Do I have a motion for the board review of the credit card policy?
I'll make a motion that we,
That you've reviewed it and accepted.
that we reviewed and accepted and vote on the reviewed credit policy.
Second.
Okay. Board discussion and vote to allow executive director to look into the installation of detectors that would inform the office of violations of the smoke-free policy.
I love this.
So, there are companies out there, and I think if you go to hotels and motels or whatever, that they have these devices up, and so the devices would actually send the information to, it could text it to me and say apartment 112, cigarette smoke, and I could call them right then and say, you're smoking in your unit.
That was disabled in my hotel when I traveled a few weeks ago. I saw it on the ceiling and it was disabled.
So I will know if someone disables it.
Right.
So if somebody, wants to, I want to have a cigarette, I want to disable it, it's going to tell me someone disabled it also.
Good.
So I believe you have to have internet in every single building, so you can't like jump on a tenant's internet.
Wi-Fi,
We would
right.
have to get it. And so HUD is they've been pushing internet for HUD properties. So I think we could start and we could try it with Harvard Court, but I want to talk to like different companies that do it and the price and all that stuff. But yeah, we would be notified immediately if cigarette smoke is detected. And there's one that will detect marijuana and what's the other thing? Something else. It will
Smoke
detect.
detectors don't pick up the smoke?
No, because what it actually gets is the nicotine. So it knows by the nicotine, not by smoke. It wouldn't be like if somebody burned something in the kitchen, that particular one's not going to go off. It's only going to go off when it gets that.
That's more of a heat sensor.
So it's a
Yes.
nicotine and.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely something I want to look into. It does seem to work in hotels. So
Yeah,
I
mine
don't-
looked disabled on the ceiling. Yeah,
yeah.
Somebody took a stick.
yeah, yeah.
But like I said, most of them can tell, and they'll
Right.
say someone.
So
took it
somebody
down.
from the hotel should go and right away, yeah.
This wasn't a 5-star. They didn't care.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably people are busy.
Yeah.
They don't have enough staff, and so
Nope.
to chase down the
Yep.
smokers can be hard. But we have people here that are complaining, and we have people here that are telling me they're not smoking. Yet I walk in and I can smell.
You can
the
smell
smoke,
it. Yeah, you
You
can
know,
smell it.
so I need proof.
I can smell it
the
in
only-
traffic.
Yeah,
All right.
Are they expensive units?
probably. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah, but if you think about the long-term maintenance, cleaning,
Yep.
and possible fire prevention, kind of good.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way, you'd have to wash and paint the walls every couple of years if people were abusing that rule.
Yeah.
It'd be gross.
And they really, like, I wouldn't even, if someone was smoking in the unit and they destroyed the unit with, just all brown coming off, running down the walls or whatever, why would we do it if they, you know what I mean? So I don't know, we got to get the proof to go to court. You can't go to court and say, well, their neighbor smelled it. Well, what's
Right.
the evidence?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We have something in effect that says, yes, on this date, at this time, this, it was detected. And so
Perfect.
I think it's the only way that we can keep up with it. And, like Pine Circle's got 4 units to a building. I mean, there's 8, but there's like they're like
Right.
2 separate in a way. Stetson Terrace, you don't smell as much because
No.
you've got your own doors and you're not sharing, there's no common area. But Harvard Court is, there's 20 people to each, 20 units to each
Right.
building. So, I mean, people are complaining, and it's like I can't accuse.
You can't track it down.
And I can't. They don't have to open the door for me.
No.
So
All right. So do I hear a motion for executive director to look into the installation of these detectors?
I make a motion that we allow the executive director to look into the installation of detectors for smoke-free policy, violations of the policy.
I'll second the motion.
All right. Okay, board vote to accept the following public notices, PHN 2025-03 and PHN 2025-04. Public housing notices.
I think. Oh, you know what I did? I put it in my director's report. I'm like, why didn't I look at this tonight? That's because I already put it in the director's report. Let me jump to that. All right. So the first one, amended housing situation priority policy. On June 20th, 2024, the Massachusetts legislature updated the definition of abuse to include coercive control. Some examples include the following: depriving the family or household member of basic needs, controlling household members' activities, communications, etc., compelling family or household member to engage in criminal activity, and threats to harm a child, family member, or pet. So some women or anyone who is a victim of domestic violence, this coerciveness can be it can be part of that. And so, if you had a husband or a boyfriend threatening to throw the child out the window, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
if you don't do this, then, that is a form of abuse.
Certainly is.
And then the next one for rent determination for retro Social Security payments due to the Social Security Fairness Act. any one-time lump sum retroactive Social Security payment issued to state-aided public housing households as a result of the end of the windfall elimination provision is excluded from income for rent redetermination. However, under the Social Security Fairness Act, any ongoing increases to monthly income from Social Security shall be reported to the office for an interim rent redetermination change. So, when they get the big lump sum, we don't take it, we don't count it.
That's fair.
That's
Yep.
good, yeah.
And
That's fair,
then-
because it's almost like back pay, you know?
Yeah, my mother-in-law got $12,000. No, she almost got $13,000.
I didn't get anything.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't get anything.
Did you work for the state or the federal government?
No.
Okay, so
This is for civil servant.
Yeah.
Okay, and now
These
I
are the
understand.
people- yeah, these are the ones that, like me,
Okay.
that even though I did so many years in the public sector,
Right.
I would get $350 a month in Social Security when I may have deserved $800.
Yes, right.
Right.
So,
It's like the old days when people from the railroad didn't get regular Social
yeah.
Security.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Okay. All right, that's a different kind of. Okay, now I understand. All right.
So anyway, so that all right, so that's that. Now where's my? Okay. So any questions on those?
They look good to me. Do we have a board vote to accept both of the public housing notices, 2025-03 and 2025-04?
I'll make a motion, we accept public housing notices, 2025, number 3 and number 4.
Second.
Okay, moving right along. Executive Director's Report. Oh, look at that, no vacancies.
Oh, I forgot to put them in.
What's that?
I forgot to put them in. I think there was one at Harvard Court.
Oh, okay. Oops, sorry, I had
One
to
at
point
Pine
that out.
Circle. One in Harvard Court, one Pine Circle.
Oh, I just saw a bunch of goose eggs. It's like, wow, no vacancies.
I just realized I never went back and looked. I'm sorry.
It's funny.
We do have a lot coming up. So we have a two-family that's going to have both units vacant coming up pretty soon. So
Yeah, how are they becoming vacant?
can't really say.
Okay.
Not
Is that the one on South Ave?
Not for public,
South-
not for public consumption.
Yep. So I reached out to our RCAP manager, Kate, and I said, Kate, this is the ideal time. The house was built in 1895. I said, it's the ideal time for us to get some major work done in there. They need new windows. The flooring's bad. They have the oil heaters out. They have to go outside and down the cellar.
Yeah.
Which I know the state is pushing the air source heat pumps, but I wasn't comfortable with air source heat pumps in these units because it wasn't insulated enough, because the windows weren't great. So anyway, we talked, and we are going to try to get under the vacant initiative program because it's such an old house. We were thinking that we would upgrade the electrical because it's the only way that we have to upgrade the electrical so that we can get air source heat pumps because they'll use a lot of electricity. There's not enough outlets in the unit. The old knob and tube is there. It has not been removed. It's been deactivated, but it has not been removed. So I did get under the Lean Energy Program, I have electricians coming in and removing all that from both the first and the second floor, which is great.
This is all gonna be free for the lean program?
I'm hoping to get a lot out of the Lean program. So like I said, so they're gonna remove the old knob and tube. They will also then hopefully fill with insulation. So once it's insulated, we want new windows. We need a garage roof desperately. The paving is ancient. We need front and back doors, good ones. We have some asbestos removal money to do something with the front porch.
Chimney too. That's expensive.
Yeah, the chimney.
Yep.
The chimney is very, very old. So if we only have electric heat, then I don't know whether we eliminate that or if we just I don't
I
know.
don't know, we better put in a chimney liner. But that's just,
Because
you know,
nothing will be.
nothing would be
released from
vented to
there.
it?
Yeah. But then you get a hole in your roof. So,
Right.
So I don't know. Would probably this.
Could you convert it to gas?
I would love to, but the state won't pay for it. They want you to go with
They want
electric. So anyway, the cellar too. I think it's dirt floor. It's just. So there's a ton of stuff that could be done there. So we kind of got excited. So we are going to put something together and see if it's approved for that. And so that will go offline for a significant period of time. It could be. It could
18
be
months?
2 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 10 months. It matters on, when you start a project in your own house, it's like something happens that's unexpected. But yeah, I
Who
think
would oversee all this? Would it be
The
the
housing.
Lane?
no, the housing authority would. So
Okay.
John and I would oversee it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's the time to do it when we've got both units vacant. I mean, that's the time to just.
Sure
There are a
is.
lot of options, because you've got the vacant unit initiative, building code compliance funds, and sustainability funds.
Right, so the sustainability funds, we could get the SOS heat pumps, we could get, if the installation is not covered by the lean program, which I know it would be, we could get it from sustainability. Yeah, there's a lot. I really got excited about it, and so did Kate, and John did too. And John's coming up with all these other ideas.
Yep, you gotta remove the furnaces, remove the tanks. That's a lot.
Yeah, it really needs a lot.
All the electrical.
Yeah,
That's like 6 to 10 grand right there to remove the furnaces and tanks.
Right. But what about the chimney?
the chimney is really, really old, so it either needs to be replaced or
Is there a fireplace, or is it just a vent?
it's just a vent. So if we stop the oil heat, then electricity doesn't need to vent out. So we would, I don't know, maybe we'd just
Cap it?
cap it or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know enough about chimneys to be truthful.
I think a chimney can be eliminated, and then the roofer knows how to fix it. Or maybe you do just cap it.
Yep, I have no idea. No idea. But yeah, there's a lot of initiatives. There's a lot of funds that we can go for,
Nice.
and I do think some building codes will come through just because of the age of the home. It's 1895.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that 130 years?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
foundation looks
Kathy.
good and stuff?
I think so. When I go over
I mean,
there,
I wonder if it's like stone or concrete or...
I can't. You know what? I can't picture what it
I mean,
is.
my house is
know-
1905. It's still standing.
I know we have vinyl siding. I have rock foundation. My house is 120 years old. Mine was
Mine was 1870.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
mine was 1905. So, and I have the stone foundation. But they did my front porch. My front porch is finished. Looks beautiful.
Nice.
They're doing the back deck now. But it's a lot of work. A lot of mess with all the rain and the dig.
Oh, yeah.
and But
I love the old houses though, that they don't
They have
just
so
tear
much-
them down or whatever.
They have so much character.
they do.
Yeah, and
they
they're so
do.
solid.
And
Yeah.
I never appreciated it when I first bought it. I wanted everything to be white and, just the same trim and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And I mean, now I look and I go, it gives it such character.
It does.
It really
I didn't even
does.
have the money
It does.
to change it.
I just wish I had some stained glass windows. That would make it awesome. All right. Do we hear a motion to accept the executive director's report?
I'll make a motion, we accept the executive director's report.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any correspondence?
Nope.
Okay. Do we have any new business? Nope. No new business? Okay. Open forum? We don't have any guests this evening. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
And we are adjourned.